Does it ever feel like you're constantly spinning your wheels in your career path? Or maybe that your life seems to be caught in this negative loop, a spiral, where you feel that I'm not really inspired by what I'm doing, right? I took many years, I worked really hard to get here, and somehow the work I'm doing doesn't seem to be inspiring. How did I get here? If you're asking these questions, then this is the video for you. Because what I want to share with you in this video is, how do you get out of that? How do you get out of a rut? And how do you organize your life so that you are doing what's inspiring to you? You love what you do and you are doing what you love. So that's what I want to share in this video. It's a beautiful day outside. Come for a walk with me. And by the way, before we begin, remember to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. Every single week I release topics like this. Remember to ring that notification bell as well so you can receive a notification every time I release a new video. And let's go. So let's look at this state here, this state of being in a rut. The word rut itself comes from the old French origins, meaning route. And route is a course. It is a course that you're taking, and it doesn't mean a course for learning. It's a course, a journey, right? The road, the path that you're taking. So how does it end up that this is the course that we end up on in life when we feel like we're in a rut? How do we end up there in the first place? And that's what I want to share with you, some deeper insights into how these things occur. See, when it comes to being in a rut, the state that we are in is a state of feeling disorganized, where it feels like our life is out of our control. And that's where the spinning of the wheels analogy, that feeling we have comes from. So how do we end up in that course, even though we don't intend to be there? And we didn't take actions intentionally to put ourselves in that route, that course or that route. So how did it get there? You see, when it comes to our life, anything that is a part of our life, the whole world and all the environments we can possibly be part of, right? This is all matter and energy. Every career path we're on, experiences we have with other people, anything that we can desire to achieve in our life, to own in our life, all of those things, the experience of life as a whole is broken up into matter and energy. So we experience life with respects to matter and energy. And there's a law of nature out there where things tend towards entropy. Entropy itself means disorder. So things in life all around us on Earth tend towards disorder. So if we organize, we need to put energy into organizing things. If we don't put energy into anything, it goes naturally towards disorder. And that is the state, the condition of the course of being in a rut. So this is all about how do we put the energy in to plan so that we're not on this course of disorder. And the key is it requires energy. So what I want to share with you is that whatever you do not plan in your life, and this applies to any arena of life. Of course, in my channel, I really do focus primarily on career. But just so you know, career is not all of life. Career is only a portion, a fraction of life. There's other areas of your life as well, right? For example, you have a family life, a social life, you have a spiritual life, the health part of you, and so on, right? So I'm primarily focused on career, but this is also true. This principle that I just shared with you is also true in all areas of your life, right? Whatever you do not plan, that you don't put the energy into planning, so therefore it will naturally head towards disorder. And rut, that course, is a state of disorder without energy being put into it. So the key of getting out of the rut and organizing your life requires energy, but it's recognizing and acknowledging this state and then taking the steps in the right order to get out. And that's what I want to share with you next. What are the steps that you take? Okay, so here we go. The ABCs of getting out of the rut and organizing your life. And I'm going to go all the way to E. So A, B, C, D, E, that's 5. 5 steps, the ABCs of getting out. A, number 1, is to acknowledge the rut. You see, we can't get out of something if we don't know that we're in it. So this is having awareness of what exactly is this rut am I in? What am I noticing? What is happening in my life currently right now? What is my life demonstrating that I wish would be demonstrating? What is the gap in between there? So what exactly is the rut I'm in? And first and foremost, when you acknowledge the rut, is to realize that I am taking responsibility for this. Whatever that my life or my career has ended up right now, this is my extreme ownership. I'm taking extreme ownership. I'm responsible for it. And this is about no excuses. Give no blame, take no blame. Let's just look at what is the situation, actually what is. Right? So when it comes to taking an extreme ownership, how do you lead your life? I have recently created a video on that. So if you will look on the corner of this screen, there will be a link for another video where I share about what does it mean to take extreme ownership. right? So after this video, just bookmark that one, go to that one, and it'll give you some deeper dive into how do we take extreme ownership, be a leader of our own lives right after we've acknowledged the situation we're in and acknowledging it for what it is, not what we think it should be, not what we judge it should be, but acknowledging it for what it is. Because we can't get out of something if we don't know the exact state that we're at right now or the position we're at right now. Just think of it like a GPS. You choose your starting point and then your destination, you choose the route in between. If you don't know your starting point, then sometimes you don't know the resources or the steps to get out of it. Right? So this is clearly just building your map out of the rut and into a state that is inspiring to you by acknowledging what is my starting point right now. So that is this first step, step number A. Step number 2 is to break down the real reason, right? Being in a rut, that state is not not a result of your circumstances. Being in a rut, that state is a result of the state of mind. So when it comes to breaking down the real reason of how did this become my actual course, the key is to understand what are the stories that I've been believing. What are the stories about your identity? What are the stories about your own capabilities that you have been believing? And what are the stories that the perceptions you have about your condition in life? All of these things, right? Because throughout life, we have created perceptions about our experiences, and these perceptions result in thoughts that we think, all about everything that we've observed and experienced in our lives. And as a result of these thoughts, they create feelings and emotional consequences. And over the years, as we begin to really confirm those thoughts and those beliefs, they begin to turn into habits of thoughts. And these habits then become quite non-conscious. We're not even conscious about thinking about it, but they create the results that we have in our life. They create our actions because all of our beliefs really create philosophies and emotions that guide our actions, right? And these will guide our actions regardless of whether or not we are aware of it. They subconsciously and automatically create the results in your life right now. So dive in and ask yourself, what are the stories that I have been believing about me? And are they empowering? Have they been producing the fruit in my life that I desire to see, that I desire to produce? Or have they been disempowering? Have they been limiting you in terms of what actions that you know you can take, or what actions that you can become the person, the individual that you desire to become? So understand that these will be the real reason why. So once you've acknowledged the rut, step number 2B is uncover the real reason. Step number 3 is to communicate the vision. How do you want your life to be? That is your definition of an inspired, ordered life. What does that look like? What does it feel? What does it mean to you? And how do you know that you will have arrived? Right? So this is important because you can't create an ordered life until you know what ordered means and have a connection to it emotionally and from an inspiration standpoint, and really understand that this definition of mine of what is ordered is genuinely what I value, is genuinely what is important to me. So once you have that vision, the key is to communicate the vision. Primarily, number 1 is to communicate it internally. The internal dialogue, communicate it to yourself. What is this vision? Have absolute clarity, and that clarity will develop confidence and delight in this vision of what is ordered. And of course, the second step, that's internal dialogue. The second step is external dialogue. This is important to communicate to others. What is the vision of that ordered state? And the reason why it's important to communicate to others is because we don't live in isolation. We require a support, resources, right? And direction and mentorship from other people. And this is important. Who in your life has a direct influence on your professional future? Who are those mentors that can help you to get to where you want to be? And how can you coordinate action with your teams? It could be your coworkers, it could be your family members, it could be your managers, higher ups, C-suite, the executive team. All of those individuals have influences on your professional trajectory. So that's why it's important to communicate that vision to these individuals as well. Right? So if you really desire, you're serious about this, and you want to know, well, yes, I identify these are the people I need to communicate to, but I don't know how. And maybe you still don't quite understand, what is my vision? And is this a feasible vision? Right? If you have these questions, then I invite you to work with me. Right? Every single week, I work with a team of clients where every week we are understanding and having greater clarity on how do I communicate my vision? How do I express myself? How do I set goals? And how do I ensure all of the goals that I set, that I achieve them and that they're inspiring to me? All of these important questions. And what does it mean to take my life to the next level? All of those existential questions as well, right? As well as developing your skill set of communication. If you're serious about working with me to help you develop those skill sets, that clarity and that confidence as well, then I invite you to book a call. Below this video, in the description, there is a link, the very first link, and that's an application for my coaching program, my executive coaching program, where I help you to develop the skill and others as well. So only if you're serious about making these results a truth in your life, and if you are a leader in your industry, or you aspire to be a leader in your industry, and you're positioned to grow, but you want to grow, then I invite you to book a call. And I look forward to speaking with you and working with you on the inside. Step number 4 is to draw an action plan. Right? This could sound intuitive because everybody talks about drawing an action plan, but a word of caution, an action plan is not just a to-do list. And it's definitely not just a to-do list or a delegation list. Your action plan is the key behind drawing a effective action plan is to ensure that every day of your life, your day-to-day activities, each activity is in alignment with what you are certain to be about, your most inspired vision of what is considered order. There must be a clear alignment, a congruency between each action step and your highest priority that is alignment with your goal of having an ordered life. So that's why it goes right back to the previous steps of having clarity of what that vision is and being able to communicate it to yourself and others. Because if you do not fill your day and completely fill your day with high priority activities that are in line with your real objectives of what is a vision of an ordered life to you, then those parts of your day that you don't fill with high priority activities, then the law of entropy will apply there. And those areas where your days are not filled intentionally by you will automatically be filled by low priority activities that are not aligned with your vision of what is ordered. Right? So that's why it's important to really break it down, your action steps, and break it down into chunk it down into smaller action steps as well. And incrementally, as you progress with these steps, incrementally make it more challenging for you. And if, for example, in one day that you achieve all of your high priority activities that are in alignment with your vision of ordered life, if you complete all of them, then add one more and keep doing so by incrementally challenging yourself so that you can develop the habit of taking your days through high priority activities and avoiding the low priority distractions. And step number 5 is to exercise the metrics. Right? Define for yourself, what are the metrics for success? Because what gets measured gets your focused attention. And you'll also have more gratitude and confidence as you take the desired actions towards the vision of your ordered life. And this is about setting metrics that compare your actions, compare the steps you're taking to the goal that you have set. Because when you make that comparison, the activity versus the goal, and you continuously do that at the end of each day, after you know and you've defined for yourself how to fill your life with high priority activities, then eventually what is left is an inevitable progression towards the vision of your ordered life.